Picture this. You found a profitable business for sale within $5 million range. That's your dream business. But unless you have the cash available sitting somewhere, or the seller is offering seller financing, you may feel stuck. But don't worry, there's another way. The SBA 7A loan is your golden ticket. Hey business owners, welcome to my channel. This is Warren talking about commercial financing. Everyone can achieve financial freedom through doing business or investment. We are here to find the right commercial capital to help you complete the transactions. Today, I will guide you through the ins and outs of SBA acquisition financing. Trust me, there are a lot of pitfalls, but if you know the rules, you will be fine. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's clarify what the SBA does. It's not a bank giving out loans directly. Instead, the SBA regulates lenders and provides them with guarantees on loans. This helps minimize the risk for lenders and encourages them to lend more to small business. We're going to talk about the 11 landmines on the SBA loan closing journey. Once you know them, you will be navigating the whole process like a pro. Hang tight to number 11 because it's the reason many buyers end up failing in their first year of ownership. First, partial ownership transfer allowed. This is the newly updated rule. In the before, only 100% ownership transfer possible, meaning the seller needs to completely step away from the business. Since August 2023, sellers can maintain roles as stockholders, officers, directors, key employees, or consultants while ushering in fresh partnerships. For example, an owner can sell, say, 60% of his company to a new owner or new partner, or a smaller percentage to a key employee interested in an ownership position in the company. Many lenders believe there is a requirement for the seller to be guarantor on the loan if they own 20% or more of the business, because this is a general condition for all SBA loans. The general consensus is that the seller does not have to be a guarantor on the loan if their equity retained is less than 20%. Second, third-party valuation will be ordered once the loan process starts. This one can throw people off. Imagine you've agreed to buy a business for $3 million, but then the appraisal comes in at $2.5 million. Now what? I had a client in this exact situation. Their first instinct was to go back to the seller and ask for a price drop. Hey, that's a smart move. But sometimes if there's a strategic reason to pay a little more, like acquiring a key competitor, it could still make sense. Just be careful about overpaying. In the new rule announced in 2023, conditional seller note may be allowed. Third, let's talk about the earnouts. This is where a seller gets more money after closing if the business hits certain targets. Sound fair, right? But the SBA isn't having it. They want a fixed price, no post-closing surprises. One of my clients was caught off guard by this when the seller tried to include an earnout clause. They had to go back and restructure the deal. So the lesson learned here is keep the price fixed from the start. Fourth, question about the seller stay. In the past, the seller can only stay on for up to 12 months as a consultant. I remember one buyer who wanted the seller to stick around longer as a safety net. Who wouldn't want that, right? Starting August 2023, the new rule allows sellers to remain involved as employees or consultants indefinitely. This new provision is definitely going to help the buyer get the business running as it should be with help from the seller, who should know the business inside and out. This rule may combine with rule number 1, so seller can retain a small portion of the equity of the business. Number 5, business licensing. This one sneaks up on people. I once worked with a buyer who was acquiring an electrical business. Everything looked perfect, but then boom, licensing issue. The seller's personal electrical license was tied to the business, but the buyer didn't have one. The whole deal was at the risk of falling apart because the business couldn't legally operate without that license. With the new rules, the seller can still be involved in the business and be the license holder. 6. Who must guarantee the loan? This is easy and straightforward. If you own 20% or more of the business, you have to personally guarantee the loan. This is where some passive investors might breathe a sign of relief. If you are below that 20%, no guarantee needed. However, if none of the owners owns more than 20%, then you may be required to guarantee the loan anyway. 7th, collateral requirement. This is a big one. If you own real estate with more than 25% equity, it's gonna be pledged as collateral. I had a client once who didn't realize this and owned a bunch of investment properties. They were a little shocked when we said we had to pledge all of it as part of the deal. It's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely something you need to be aware of upfront. Number 8, down payment requirement. You have probably heard a lot about the 10% down, but here's the kicker. It can vary from lender to lender. I've seen deals where the lender asks for more, and other times less is also possible. We had one time helped an existing electrical business acquiring an office to house more employees. Because of the strong cash flows, 0% down payment was required. Number 9, seller financing. This can be a game-changing. I've seen deals that only work because the seller was willing to help finance part of it. While the SBA doesn't require seller financing, many lenders love it. Here's a cool trick. If the seller is okay with it, you could buy a business with as little as 2.5% cash down. That's right. The seller holds back 7.5% and doesn't get paid until the SBA loan is paid off. Not every seller will agree to this, but hey, if they want to get their price, you've got some negotiating power. Number 10, personal resource test. In the past, the SBA rules included a personal resource test where the borrower's financial position was reviewed to see if they need an SBA loan. With this test, some well-qualified buyers were overqualified in that they had too much cash or asset and were deemed SBA financing. This test has been gone now. If you have the need for financing, your assets won't hold you up. This is a big win for many qualified buyers. Finally, number 11, working capital. This is probably the most important point. Lack of working capital is the number one reason many businesses fail early on. I used to have a buyer who thought they have everything figured out until they ran out of cash 6 months after the acquisition. You have to project your cash flow accurately and make sure the lender builds enough working capital into the loan. If there's not enough cash, you are probably setting yourself up for failure in the near future. So there you have it. Those are the 11 aspects you need to know about SBA acquisition loans. I hope this helps you avoid the common pitfalls I have seen over the years. If you found this useful and want more insider tips, hit that subscribe button for more information.